Yo, it's good. It's your girl, Young KK. Tesla is going up. Stock is going up. The beginning of January, it was at 101. Today, it's at 196. So if you would have invested at the beginning of January, you would have doubled your money in Tesla. We're going to react to this video right now.
Tesla shares for the year to date are up 80%, but for the 1 year period, they're still down 35%. This is a stock that's gone from $381 to $108 and back up over the last year. That is a lot of volatility.
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
I agree with that. So before we get...
That's crazy. Like, it dropped. It always goes up and down, but this one went from 318 to 100 and back up to 2. So I would say get into Tesla right now. It is going to the freaking moon.
Deep into Tesla, I want to just make a comment about two comments about, number one, how it's the safest car that's ever been built in the world. The safest car ever built in the world. And about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, there was a man who took his wife and 2 children, 2 daughters, and drove it off a cliff 250 feet above the ground, and at 71 miles an hour. He was...
I heard about this story. If you have not heard about this story, check it out. Watch it on YouTube. Google it. This was in California, right near San Francisco.
Trying to commit suicide and murder at the same time. The car flies off the cliff and tumbles down to the bottom, and the roof on a Tesla is 30 or 40% stronger than any other roof, and the center of gravity is the middle of the car instead of the front of the car. And it rolls down to the bottom of the hill, and everyone's looking down, and then they lower people down, and they open the doors, and people just sitting there. They were fine. They were unscathed.
But unbelievable that they got out and were able to.
So unhurt. And so I told Elon he has to text about this and tell people that if they want to commit suicide, they should not be driving a Tesla. They should drive.
Right. Like, this is insane. If you didn't catch the part, he just said the center of gravity is in the center of the Tesla and not in the front like every other car. Because if you watch the video of how the Tesla was, it was landed like flat on the ground, all bashed up and everything like that, banged up, but everyone did survive. It was the guy, his wife, and their 2 kids, who was very young, ages 4 and 7. Definitely a miracle, and I would say get a Tesla, get a Tesla, get a Tesla. It's a freaking machine.
A Bentley. Drive a Bentley, drive it off the cliff, you'll die. Don't do it in a Tesla. So number one, safest car ever been built. And of course he tweeted about that. Number 2, Toyota. So Michael Barron, my son, and I went to visit Toyota in Japan a couple months ago. And we were meeting with an executive, and we had a translator with us because we don't speak Japanese. That guy did speak English. And so we started asking questions, and initially it starts off, he's responding in answering my questions in English, and then all of a sudden he switches to Japanese. And it happens every time there's a tougher question. He starts off with English and then goes to Japanese. And I finally say, listen, I can't have a conversation with you when you have a translator and I'm listening to this translator. I got to talk to you in English. And so it was nothing. And then we walk out, and this whole strategy behind Toyota was they are negative about electric cars. Right. And what he wanted to do is he said, we want to have the lowest cost of mobility in the whole world. And so as a result of that, rich people, they can plug in their cars. If you're a lot of places, there's not electricity, so you can't plug it in. So we're not into that. That was what we took away. So we walk out, and I said, Michael, I don't understand any strategy that they have here. This reminds me sort of of Sony in the 1970s. They're just stuck in their ways. But I don't know. We never heard the strategy. And he said, Dad, I've never been more bullish about Tesla. And what do you know? The head of Toyota just retired yesterday or the day before, last week. He's the grandson of the founder. And he says, I'm too old for doing this. He was 65. I'm 79. So basically, he says, I'm too old for doing this. The bottom line is that the head of Volkswagen gets fired. The head of Ford, Mark Field, gets fired because they had bad strategies, bad people. And Mark Field...
Basically, all the car companies are now sweating now. They're in competition. Tesla's coming up. They're coming out with the Cybertruck. They're coming out with the Model Y. prices just went down, like they're upgrading another model. So there's definitely, like, Tesla doesn't have any competition, but all the car companies, the major car companies, are having their competition now.
Came to visit me a few years ago. You couldn't have believed the negative things he told me about Elon Musk. All wrong.
They doubted Elon in the beginning, and now they're starting to see that it's coming to fruition. Everything that he said about the Tesla, it's a machine, you know, it's the best car out there, very sustainable, it doesn't need gas, you know, everything. He said it even dances. It dances to the music if you get a Tesla. So the stock is going up. It's bullish. Go ahead and get some. If you do not have a stock account, go ahead and click the link in the description box below. Sign up for your Webull account, deposit 1 penny, and get yourself some free stocks. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. It's KK. Peace.